YouTube, it's Cozy, and I'm here with a college admissions video. So I basically decided to do this video because I have just come to the conclusion of my college admissions process. And so I kind of wanted to add to the collective experiences that I've gotten from watching YouTube college admissions videos. So the college admissions videos I've seen on YouTube have really helped me navigate what kind of schools I wanted to apply to, all the way to kind of shaping myself for certain schools. So at first I thought I was going to apply to 20 schools because I had a huge college list. But then I decided to narrow it down to 8 schools. So I applied to the University of South Florida, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Stanford University, University of Florida, at Florida State University, UC Berkeley, UCLA, and USC. You can see California is kind of where I saw myself at. I'm a Florida student and I really like the heat. So I didn't really see myself in that much of a cold place. The only school that I really applied to that had colder climate was UNC, and even that is not too bad. I didn't apply to any of the Ivies or the Northeast schools, as you can see. I'm going to go in the order of the schools that I applied to, and I'm going to say if I got in or if I didn't get in. So the first school that I applied to was the University of South Florida. This is a school located in Tampa. It's a Florida public university. This had rolling admissions, so I applied back in October. The application portal opened in August, but I decided to wait a little bit. And basically how rolling admissions works is you apply and then you get your admissions decision fairly quickly. For me, it took about a month. And so I did end up getting into the University of South Florida. It's a very big campus. It kind of sprawls across Tampa, and it's a school that's very close to me, so essentially it would be free. As a Florida student, we get the Bright Future Scholarship if you adhere to certain criteria, and I have been awarded that scholarship, so all the Florida public schools are free tuition, and because it's so close to me, I'd be living at home with my parents, if I decided to go there. I did receive a scholarship from them for about $16,000, so it'd be $4,000 a year. And again, because I'd be living at home, I'd be eating at home, and tuition was paid for, that money would pretty much be going into my own pocket. So then the next school I applied to was the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. UNC Chapel Hill is the flagship campus of the UNC public school system. It's a really good public school, and North Carolina is also a place I kind of saw myself at, even though it is kind of a colder climate. I applied early action to this school because I did want to show this school that I was very interested in attending, and I wanted to show that it was my first choice. And applying early action or early decision does tell a university that you really want to go there. So this application I did on the Common App, and it was due October 15th, I believe. And so I submitted mine the day before it was due on the Common App, but I guess that's pretty normal for stressed out seniors. And so results came out January 25th. I was at SeaWorld with my mom because I was celebrating her birthday, and I didn't think I was going to get in simply because out-of-state students at UNC usually don't get in. It's kind of rare and it's kind of harder to get into just because they do want to admit their in-state students. So when I did receive the notification that I was admitted, I was very excited. And so as you can see, here is my congratulations letter. It says, "Congratulations, it gives us great pleasure to welcome you to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill." And so I'm a Tar Heel. And I was very, very excited when I received that notification because, again, I did not think I was going to be getting in as an out-of-state student. And I do not know if I was eligible for any scholarships because they didn't send them my CSS profile, which is how you are eligible for institutional scholarships and grants. So I never submitted that, so I do not know the status of how much money they would give me. But again, it is out of state, so I would be paying out-of-state tuition. So the next school I applied to was Stanford University. It's located in the Bay Area in California. I really saw myself in California. It was a school that I fell in love with about my sophomore, junior year because at the time I was planning on doing international relations, and that's a school that got on my radar because it is very reputable in that field. And then, I've watched a lot of YouTube, and I, watched a lot of videos about, Stanford students, and I fell in love with the culture of the school. I love the entrepreneurial kind of environment that it had. It was very innovative. Snapchat was created there. I believe HP was created there, and it had a very dynamic and new kind of vibe that I was very interested in, and that's why I decided to apply to the university. I applied to restricted early action because I did, again, want to show the school that this was my #1 choice, and it really was. And basically because Stanford's private and UNC's public, I was able to apply to those schools early action at the same time. You just can't do, I believe, 2 private schools early action. And I like that Stanford didn't have it be binding because of financial aid. I do not want to be making a decision that's binding without, discussing the finances with my parents because them and I are going to be footing the bill. And so decisions came out December 7th, and I was at work, didn't expect anything. I took my admissions portal, and then I dropped on the floor crying because I got in. So yes, I got into the Stanford class in 2023. I was very, very shocked that I got in. The acceptance rate's like 4 or 5%. It wasn't supposed to happen. And then when I received notification, I was in utter shock. It was literally a dream come true that I did not, again, think it was ever going to happen in a million years. And then it did. And I've also connected with a lot of students that are also going to be going to Stanford through, social media. And, I've kind of already built like a little niche within that school. And so I was very, very excited about receiving admissions there. And again, so I believe that was, after USF, that was, the second school that I had heard back from. And then the next schools that I applied to, and that was, again, due November 1st. And the next schools I also applied to were also November 1st, and these are my two other state schools. These are no top schools in Florida. It was the University of Florida and then Florida State University. So I did those applications on Coalition because UF is on Coalition, and so I also decided to do FSU on the same thing, so then I can just submit those two applications at the same time. So the University of Florida is a pretty competitive state school. I believe their acceptance rate's in the 30s. It's located in Gainesville, Florida, which is about an hour or two away from me, so it's not too far. Again, I'd have to live on campus. I'd have to get a meal plan. My tuition would be paid for, so it wouldn't be, free like USF. Results came out, I believe, February 8th, and, a lot of people in my school are applying to these top state schools, so the atmosphere was very tense when results were coming out. And so I was also at work, and then I had a friend at work that we were both anticipating results. She goes to another school than me, but she kind of nudged me in the shoulder. She was like, BTW, results came out. So I ran to the bathroom, went to go check during my shift, and then I ended up getting into the University of Florida. Yeah, so I was very, very excited as well. But at this point, because I'd gotten admissions from Stanford, I wasn't very excited as much as I thought I would, because in my junior year, I thought I was going to be going to the University of Florida, but the Stanford decision kind of changed that. And so yeah, so I got admission into the UF 2023 class. I also received a $5,000 scholarship from them, their Presidential Gold. So that would also cover a bit of my expenses as well. And receiving merit scholarships from them is also very hard to get, so I was very grateful and thankful to receive a merit scholarship from them. And so the next school I also applied to was, again, FSU. This is Florida State University, another top public school. This was like one of my safety schools, so I did kind of expect to get in, but of course with college admissions, nothing is guaranteed, and it's kind of cocky to believe so. This is located in Tallahassee, so it's located in the capital. I believe there's a lot of resources there because it's located near a lot of government and official buildings. I applied to finance as a finance major because their College of Business is very reputable, so yeah, I decided to apply to that. So as you can see, my majors are kind of scattered. I am 17 who doesn't know exactly what she wants to do with her life, so there's that. So when I checked admissions decisions at home, a lot of my friends were anticipating results for this school. When I got in, I was very, very excited. So yes, I got admitted to the FSU class of 2023. Very, very excited. Beautiful campus. It's like made of brick. Colors are like a maroon, burgundy color, and gold. It's a very beautiful school. And I did not receive any merit scholarships from them. Whatever. But yeah, so I have a lot of friends going there, so go Tally! Okay, so the next school I applied to was the University of California schools. So you had to do those schools on the UC application. So I did both UC Berkeley and UCLA. Those are basically like the top Cali schools, and both of those schools are public. And so luckily, since it was on the UC application, you can kind of put all your general information, and then even the essays are similar. You basically are just paying the $70 fee, application fee twice, to send your applications to those schools. UCLA, I thought I had more of a chance for. It was definitely a reach school, both of them, but I did think UCLA I would probably get into. UC Berkeley, I did not think so, just because, they do have a lower acceptance rate, and I actually really wanted to do engineering with them, but I didn't think I'd be getting into their College of Engineering, so I actually went ahead and did political economy at Berkeley, and then I believe I did business economics at UCLA. I thought I had a better of a chance of getting into the College of Letters and Sciences than the College of Engineering. And I was so happy with those majors because even now I still kind of see myself going that technology, political science kind of route. They came out roughly at the same time. UCLA, I believe it came out March 18th. And I was actually in Scotland at the time, coming home. I was visiting family. So on my way to the airport, I opened up the decision and I got a rejection. Yeah, so I got rejected from UCLA, but again, it's a huge, overpopulated school, competitive school, so there's definitely a lot of people that apply that are much more qualified than me, and that's, probably why I didn't receive admissions from them. And then with UC Berkeley, I received the notification when I was in class. I believe it came out on Ivy Day, so I actually got in. So I received my congratulations. I'm delighted to offer you admission to the University of California, Berkeley for fall 2019. You have been admitted to the College of Letters and Sciences. So it was kind of flip-flop. Again, I expected to get into UCLA, didn't expect to get into UC Berkeley, and it worked the opposite. Something I have heard people say is that they get into one or the other because since they're like the top two schools in the UC system, they kind of communicate with one another. But again, that's a rumor. That's definitely something that people could say to kind of, ease the wound of not getting into both schools, because there's definitely people that get into both. I am just one of those people who got into one, not the other. Something that also I kind of began to realize, like once I had already gotten in, was that Stanford students and Berkeley students kind of overlap in terms of their qualifications and their job prospects. So that's also maybe another reason why I was more well suited for Berkeley than I was for UCLA. And then the last school that I had applied to, because the application was December 1st, but I had heard back from before Berkeley, I'd actually heard back from them when I had touched back down at home from my trip in Scotland, was the University of Southern California. They've kind of been, like Stanford as well, but they've kind of been embroiled in this huge college admission scandal. So I kind of was curious to see how the college admissions process would go this time around. And so when I checked the portal, there was actually a huge disclaimer talking about the admission scandal, basically saying that they believe that they still acted with integrity with their college admissions, and how, if fraud was detected amongst anybody, that it was under thorough investigation. And so I had that disclaimer, then I scrolled again, and then clicked, see notification, and I saw that I did get into the University of Southern California. They sent a beautiful package with a bunch of brochures and a certificate. Oops. So yeah, they sent that information in. USC was actually a school I really wanted to get into, researching international relations back in my sophomore year, because I thought that was going to be my prospective major. And similarly to Stanford, USC was also top ranked in that major. And the thing I loved about their college, or their university, was that they had international relations, and then I could choose a concentration. And one of the concentrations that I really loved was global business. I thought that was super duper interesting. I fell in love with this school. Again, I did not expect to get in, especially because I thought UCLA and USC were kind of similar schools since they were both in LA, so I thought their qualifications would overlap. So I kind of thought that if I didn't get into UCLA, I wouldn't get into USC. However, that wasn't the case, and I'm very excited to have received admissions from them. However, it is a very expensive school. And again, I don't know any scholarship information from them because I didn't turn in my CSS profile, again, which would make me eligible for those grants to see what I would have gotten. And UC Berkeley is a public school, so I wasn't going to get any aid. However, I think some people do get scholarships, but I did not receive anything, so I'd be paying out-of-state tuition, so Berkeley is kind of outside of the question. But basically, where am I going to school? And so I am going to Stanford University. Stanford basically has just been that dream school of mine since, again, my sophomore and junior year. At the moment, I'm actually thinking of pursuing management science and engineering. It's a kind of discipline of engineering that kind of combines, engineering principles along with business, economics, political science. And I think that's super interesting for my interest. I kind of see myself in the technology industry, especially working with politics, and I believe that major kind of aligns myself correctly with it. I originally had applied for international relations, but again, I'm kind of beginning to change my gears, because while I see myself, again, in politics, I kind of like that technological aspect, creating systems and models that will kind of refine how our current system works, and I am super interested and all of that jazz. And of course, since I'm 17, I could totally change my major and change my mind on it, but as of now, that's what I'm currently thinking, and I am extremely grateful to be part of the Stanford 2023 class. So yes, I hope to come back with more videos about how, to create a balanced college list, talk about you know, how to kind of shape yourself for certain schools, how to model your application to, you know, try and get into these schools. Because with some of the schools I got into, I did have to keep that in mind about how am I tailoring myself, how am I conveying my story, and I'm super interested in that. So please like and subscribe. I plan to come back with more college admission videos. And please comment down below on what type of videos you want to see. I do kind of see myself being a college YouTuber.